vector is physically in channel 1.
Copy, thank you. Station Houston, Space Ground 2 for David. Okay, so the audio is not going to work for us, so we're going to plan on just using Space Ground 2 up and down for the audio.
Yeah. Switch the mics.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I am ready.
Canadian Space Agency, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Oh, look at that. When we're talking to David, there might be a little bit of a delay. He's all the way up in space after all. so it might take a while for him to get back to us.
Vinny, I can hear you.
Hi, David. I'm glad that you can hear us. Now, how do you have me? I'm speaking to you here from East Cree School in Inuvik, Northwest Territories.
Hey. Pangwinzi. Great to see you, everybody. Welcome to Space Station.
Wonderful. David, we're so excited to speak with you this morning. Thank you for making the time with us. Now, tell me a little bit about this morning. How was your cosmic catch with the Canadarm2? Was it just like you practiced?
Practice a lot for that, as you know well yourself, fully trained. Yeah, it's a big moment every time for me as a Canadian and for every Canadian. Every time we use Canadarm2 for an important operation, it's a big moment of pride. So to be at the controls myself after all these years of training was a very, very special moment. And fortunately, it all went well.
Good. Oh, that's so good to hear. Well, like I said, we're pretty excited to be down here with you. And we have a few questions lined up for you. I'm going to pass the mic to our first student with a question.
How do you feel physically and emotionally while in space?
So being in space, first for your body is very difficult to adapt. You have to adapt because in the beginning you lose all sense of orientation, and also you get very congested because all your blood rushes to your head and you get easily lost and confused. So it takes a while physically and mentally to adapt. At a level of emotions, though, it's a beautiful human adventure because you're here. It's like going on an expedition or an excursion or a trip, because I'm here with dear friends that I've been training with for many, many years. So every day I wake up looking forward to a great day of discovery with my crew members. And I can share the story with people on the ground like I'm doing now. So emotionally, it's very positive. The only thing that's sad sometimes is I miss my family a lot, of course.
To hear what you have to share about your mission. Next question.
Que mangez-vous dans l'espace?
In space.
L'espace, qu'est-ce qu'on mange?
What do we eat in space? Actually, we eat dehydrated food, and I have some here that I can show you. And I'm going to come closer to the camera. So it's dehydrated food that you can keep for a long time, like smoked salmon here. Of course, tin food. And this is very special to me because this food was prepared by my family. So it's dehydrated. We add hot water, and there it goes. And sometimes there are little surprises, little snacks. So Canadian biscuits that were sent to me. And of course, we need to drink. So we can drink in a glass. So we drink with a straw like this. That's how we feed ourselves up in space.
Can you see the seasons from space?
It's easy to see if it's winter or summer, but you know, half the Earth is in summer and half the Earth is in winter. So right now it's winter in the north. Well, it's springtime, I suppose, in the north. We can see the snow is melting in north of Canada. We can see there's no more snow in most of the United States. And we can see it's getting colder on the southern hemisphere, like in South America it's getting colder because over there it's the fall. So we can tell it's the season by whether there's snow or not on the ground or if the trees are green or not. That we can also see from space.
What are your current missions and tasks, and why are they so important?
This is a mission of scientific exploration. So I do a lot of research on the field of medicine, and I do a lot of also maintenance of the space station to take care of all the life support system that is here. And everything we learn here is going to serve two purposes. First, it's going to help us be better living in space, so one day we can explore further and maybe go to Mars. But also, everything we learn here, we can use back on Earth, because the problems that astronauts have in space are the same as the problems people have on Earth, except they happen more quickly. It's a bit like we are aging faster. That way we can all find all sorts of solutions for health problems of our elders.
What is your favorite zero-gravity move, like a front flip?
Let me see if I can do a front flip. I'm pretty sure I can. I can show you a couple of moves. The thing is to just hang from the ceiling, like this. And hang from the wall.
Is it always night in space?
Is it always hot in space? Oh, night in space. Is it always night in space?
No, it's, you know, we go around the world very fast in space station. We go around the Earth in 1 hour and a half. So every 1 hour and a half, sunrise, and then sunset, 16 times a day. I have windows behind me. I'll show you. It's daytime now. During the day, it's very, very bright outside. We have to wear sunglasses if we want to look outside out the window. The sky itself is always black. Even during the day, the sky is not blue. Even during the day, the sky is black because there's no air to make the sky blue.
What you have on the space station?
Gadget we have on space station? I think it's Canadarm. Canadarm is this incredible robot that helps us repair stations. First, it was used to build the space station, and then we use it to repair the space station. And now we use it also to capture the cargo vehicles that bring us new food and new experiments. So I think that's a very smart piece of technology, and it's a Canadian invention.
Weather balloons get very large as they reach the upper atmosphere. Have you ever seen one from the ISS?
That's an interesting question. I tried to see if I could spot them, but I was never able to see them. But I think you're right. I think if one was coming kind of near in the same direction of the space station, we could see it because they get several hundreds of meters in size. So I should get more information about when and where they're launched from. And I'm pretty sure I can manage to take a photo of one. That would be neat. But so far, I have not seen one.
Do people get sick more often or less often? And how do you treat them?
So fortunately, we don't have a lot of medical problems on board. A lot of it is because, first, astronauts are usually very healthy people, and then we're very, very careful. We make sure we don't send anything that has any infection or microbes up here, so we don't catch any disease. Before leaving, we are in quarantine, so we don't go in space even with a cold, and we're very careful not to hurt ourselves. But if there's a little problem, we have some medication. So we can help ourselves. The other day, a friend of mine cut herself in the face. I was able to repair that wound. We have some medication, some antibiotics if you get an infection. So we have like a little clinic on board the space station for problems, and we just try to be very careful so we don't have a big problem.
Can you see the black hole from the picture in space?
That famous picture of the black hole, yes, I saw the picture too and on the internet, but I cannot see it from here. No, it needs a very special telescope to see that black hole. So from space station, we cannot see it better than you can from Earth.
Essa que eu te fala que os teus andam lá espaço.
Can you see the ozone layer in space?
Couche d'ozone, je peux voir où elle est.
I can see where it is, but you cannot see it because it's transparent. It's not visible, but I know where it is. And we see the atmosphere very well and all the layers of the atmosphere up to space. And that's very beautiful because during the day it's blue, it's shiny, and at night there is a slight orange glow. So it's very beautiful.
What personal items did you bring with you and why?
I brought some things that reminded me of my family and people I love. So little toys that my children chose and gave to me, and pictures of my family, and a Rubik's Cube that I have that my father gave me. I have a couple of personal objects like this even. I have a Inuvik sealskin wristband that I keep with me in my bedroom to remind me of my time up in the Arctic.
Other astronauts do in your free time? What do you and your other astronauts do in your free time?
Free time. The thing I like to do most is go to the window and look at the Earth. Because from here, the Earth is so beautiful. During the day, you can see all the mountains, the cities. During the night, you can see the lights of the cities. And one thing that's amazing at night, something you know well, living in the north, is the northern lights. From space, the northern lights are like below us. They look a bit like some green smoke dancing, green waves dancing on top of the Earth. It's really so beautiful.
Can you see the ice caps melting or any other evidence of climate change from the ISS?
One thing we can do is I can look at glaciers, places where there's snow, and compare with old photographs that I can find online. And there you can see that, yes, some of the glaciers are smaller now than they used to be. Other things we can see, of course, is sometimes we can see bad pollution over cities, over the largest cities, and things like that.
Où dormez-vous?
Actually, my bedroom is like a wardrobe. It's not very big. I can close the door, and in my bedroom, I have a sleeping bag, and I'm going to show you how we sleep. So we sleep in the sleeping bag like this, and we can put the sleeping bag on the wall, and it's actually very comfortable.
What's your favorite food up there?
We can see shooting stars. They're below us, of course, because shooting stars are when meteorites hit the atmosphere. For us, it's a little bit scary, because if a shooting star hits the station, it's like a rock hitting the station, and maybe it can make a hole in it. So we're not big fans of shooting stars here on Space Station. Whenever we see one, we feel like, whoo, we got lucky it didn't hit us.
Can you see shooting stars in space?
So we can see shooting stars. They're below us. Shooting stars are meteorites. They're rocks that fall into the atmosphere, and they burn when they hit the atmosphere. So we can see them below us like little white lines. But whenever we see a shooting star, we know we've been lucky, because if it hits us, it can make a hole in our spacecraft, and that would be very dangerous.
Do you dream differently in space?
You know, I have more dreams about my family here than I had on the ground. Dreams are not very different, I think. One thing is different is sometimes I can see bright streaks of light when my eyes are shut. That's cosmic rays hitting the back of my eye.
Can you bring your dog in space?
Dog in space? You know, dogs went to space before humans. Dogs were the first living things to go to space. There were a couple of Russian dogs, Laika and her friends, that went to space first. And then they sent monkeys, and then they sent people.
Have you discovered anything new in space?
There's several hundred experiments going on in the space station. Yes, so there's several hundred experiments going on in the space station all the time, and several thousand since the beginning of station. And each of these is a little discovery. That's how research functions, one little step at a time. Right now we're doing a lot of experiments on the human body, on bone strength, and on muscle strength, and on your balance system, and on the immune system, and also on Parkinson's disease, And so every one of these research will make a little step, a little discovery, and in the end we get big advances that way.
Is the northern lights different in space?
Excuse me, can you repeat?
Are the northern lights different in space?
Northern lights. So the northern lights are different because they're the same color, the same beautiful green color and sometimes pink, but they're below us. They're not above us. They float, they dance on top of the atmosphere of the Earth. So it's really beautiful. When we come into the night, you look, you see the sun goes down, the air is blue, and then it becomes black, and then you start to see these dancing green lights on top of the atmosphere. And it's like enchanting. To me, it's mesmerizing. I really love it. It's just as beautiful as on the Earth, except it's a different direction. But we can see the whole northern light all going all the way around the pole.
Well, David, thank you so much for sharing your amazing mission with us and everything that you can see up there. We appreciate learning about it, and like you heard, we had some great questions for you. So thanks for taking that time out of your day, and unfortunately for us, David's got to go back to work, but we are very happy to hear from you. Thank you, David.
Very much, Jenny. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the spring season, and be careful. Take care of our beautiful Great North. I have such great memories of living there myself.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Canadian Space Agency and participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.